Okay, so before we start this video, I'd like to mention that this air conditioner, it's a cheap modern air conditioner. It has almost no refrigerant left in it. It's very cheaply made, it has no value, and it's in really poor condition. It's rotted out, and it's basically a scrap unit at this point. Having said that, we're going to try to squeeze a little bit more life out of it. However, this is not a repair video, this is not a tutorial video, this is a video for entertainment purposes only, and I am just playing around with this to see what happens. Okay, now that that's over, this is a Gold Sludge, actually it's branded by Hampton Bay, made by Gold Sludge, 5050 BTU air conditioner. And it's supposed to have 7.9 ounces of R-152 in it. But this unit has almost nothing left in it. I've had these in the past and they were low as well, two of these same units, but they would still cool. This one will not. Let me cut the refrigerant off. This one will not even cool. So what I've done, and I've done this in the past, but what I've done is I put on bullet piercing valve. Now if I were just recharging it, I just put one on the low side, but I put one on the low and high side because I'm interested in seeing what the pressures are. So I'm aware that these bullet piercing valves are known for leaking. They're not proper service ports, but in this case they're fine since the unit's already obviously leaking, because it does have a low, although very slow leak, because it does the same thing now that it did when I got it. It does have a leak. I'm not worried about that. So what we're going to be doing is recharging this air conditioner. Now before I recharged, it was a 1986 Kenmore. That was kind of junky too, but I recharged it with R-152A, you know, because these are R-22 units. And that unit, that was about 3 years ago, and it's been used constantly, and it hasn't leaked any, hasn't stopped working. Compressor still sounds perfectly fine, it runs fine, and in fact it cools just as well, but the condenser doesn't get as hot and the compressor runs a lot cooler. So that's kind of interesting if you ask me, but obviously it's not good for the compressor, but whatever. If it works, if this here works for a year and then it kills the compressor, whatever, I don't really care. This is just, you get the idea. This unit is scrap, okay? Having said that, it does run. I'll go ahead and turn it on cool. You can see that the low side sucks down, the high side doesn't really do much of anything. Well, I guess it's building some pressure, because I can't restart the compressor instantly, but it's very low. There we go. The high side should be about 350, it says, and it's only at 150. Once again, I'm not too concerned about the pressures. I was just interested to see what they were. It does not get cold at all. The suction line right here, after about 30 minutes, will start to get a tiny bit cold, but that's it. And this does get a tiny bit warm, but once again, not enough to really be of any interest. So I was originally gonna recharge this with 134A, just like I did that other one, but I like trying different things, and R-134A has gone up in price. This unit holds 7.9 ounces, I think that's what it said, of R-22. So for a 5-ounce can of 134A, it was like $8, which isn't bad, but they were only like $4 before. So working a very tight space because my mother still hasn't gotten her crap out of here. Set the case over there gently. You can see the fan bearings are very good in this unit, which is crazy. These usually have very bad fan bearings. So I'm going to be recharging this with R-152A, otherwise known as computer duster. which is actually what you would use for an R12 system. So I've got this thing, and I used this before when I was doing the 134A because it connects directly to the gauges. And you just kind of, well, let me do this with two hands. Sort of. So this thing's not too great. I mean, you can hear it leaking, but it punctures the can and allows you to hook it up to a gauge set. So I'm going to hook that up there. Let me purge the line here. Alright. And I'm going to turn the air conditioner on and open up the high or low side slowly. So you can see through the little sight glass there, well, you could for a second, the refrigerant going in. Oh, there goes my can. Can's getting cold, so it is sucking it in. Although, well, stop it! It seems to have stopped. My valve is open. Okay, apparently the valve on the air conditioner is not open though. Wait, something's wrong here. There ain't no way that can is empty already. No. Is this... oh, it's cross-threaded. Is it? Hold on, let me figure out what's going on here. Okay, so it wasn't threaded on tightly enough in there, but you can see now that it is indeed the liquid going through there. And yes, I know, charging a compressor with liquid isn't good for it, but if I were worried about being very good for the compressor, you know, whatever. You can see it going through the sight glass there. We're going to cut this off and just let it equalize for a second. I'm seeing frost on there and I'm feeling a bit of heat on there. Looks like we're up to 200 now on here. The lines are freezing a little bit, so we are getting somewhere. I'm going to cut it on, let some more in. I think at this point we are... oh, there we go. Just gonna shake the can a bit. Something strange happened there. Not sure what. See, it's not coming through here again. There's something strange going on with this line here. And I don't know what it is. See? Barely coming through. Okay, now it's going through again. I can see it through the sight glass. Damn it. So, the coil's actually starting to get a bit cool now. At least partially. So we're getting there. I'm going to cut it on, let some more flow into there. And it looks like we're getting blocked or whatever the hell's going on again. Yeah. I don't know what the hell's going on here with this line. Oh no, it's letting it through. I think the pressure in the can might be the same as the pressure in the air conditioner now. It only needs to go up to, well, it said on the high side 350. It doesn't have to go there. But that's what it said. Try setting the can in some water here. Not hot water, just water. Okay, should we go for our second can and see if we can get some more through there? See, this ain't coming out of here how I think it should. It was almost empty. And yeah, don't say shit to me about venting this. I mean, that's what you do with it. It's designed to be vented. See, where are our pressures? We're about almost at 300 now on the high side. And part of the coil's getting cold at the very bottom. Condenser's getting a bit warm, so is the compressor. So it would seem that it is starting to function properly. So I'm going to go for the second can here. Oh, I see a problem. The O-ring thing in my hose is just disintegrating. And it must have been plugging it up. Yep. Okay. So, go ahead and puncture this second can here. Try to do it more at the bottom on this can. And we'll hook our thing up to here. We're almost to 350. We're at about 300 right now. So it isn't going to take much more. Ah! No! Damn you. Don't buy these cheap ass gauges. Get good quality ones. Okay. I'm just gonna open it. Let's go for it. I don't know what the hell. There we go. That to stop leaking after it's vented all of my refrigerant into the air. Still got a bit going through there. Damn. That ain't good. Well, the air conditioner's not taking anymore, and I can see the liquid refrigerant just sitting in there, so I don't know what's going on here. Whoa. Oh look, this can still got... So, looks like that's all that it's going to take. But the good news, let me cut it off. So the low side is at about 60. High side, about 325? I don't know. Good news is, if we look down, of course the pressures aren't going to be exactly the same because it's R-134. The whole coil is getting sweaty and the whole thing is cold. So, we should, if I can get this thing unclamped, should be good to go. Ah! Oh, both these cans are empty, but they're still not empty. Anyway, the coil is nice and cold. Look, you can actually see it's even collecting condensation already. Look at that. Of course, it's not blowing cold because this isn't really connected there, but yeah, that's cold. So, we're doing something right. So now, you disconnect this hose from here. Let's see, where's my Allen key thing? I need to cut these valves off on here. Okay, I've cut that off. Now I'm going to close it back. And I need to cut it. These, don't buy these cheap valves. If you're going to use bullet piercing valves, which I do not recommend anyway, at least get the real Supco ones. Because these things leak. They don't shut off all the way. Okay, I'll put the cap on there. With the cap on, it should be okay. Yeah, these cheap piercing valves don't work as good. The Supco ones, they're kind of meh. If you get lucky, they'll work right, but these generally don't work right. Okay, that one's not closing off very good at all. You gotta really wrench down on these. Okay. So I don't expect this to last long, if nothing else because these valves leak, but I did the 134A in that Kenmore and it didn't kill it, and it's been 3 years and it hasn't leaked, but I used a real Supco valve on there. Okay, where's the lid for this valve? If I can't find the lid, oh, here it is. I was going to say, if I can't find the lid, then it's definitely going to leak. These lids are kind of the only thing that really save your ass. And I fully expect these to start leaking, but I'm hoping that they at least last a little while. This is just some soapy water. Just to see if there's any bubbles. And I'm not seeing any. So we don't have any like really big leaks. So what I'm going to do is put this back on, because this is what diverts the air. I had to take it off to get to this valve that I put on here, because even though I had to remove a piece to get to that, that was the best place for that to go. Now, if I didn't mention it, R-152A, what we put in here is flammable, and R-22 is not. So you just want to keep that in mind. So let's fire it up. Try to get some sort of temperature reading here. I don't really have a very good temperature reading device, but so yeah, this coil is getting cold almost instantly. I can feel it, and it is blowing out cold air here, and it is blowing out hot air back here. It's blowing plenty of bubbles because of all that soap I just put in there. Yeah, that's blowing pretty cold, actually. I mean, better, about how I'd expect it to work in general, even with the original refrigerant. Let's see here. So I've got a dairy thermometer, and if we look right now, it says it's about 85 in here. I'm going to place this right here. We're going to see what it goes down to. Of course, this thing takes forever. But we're down below 80. I mean, it feels like it's blowing ice cold, but I would like to give you an actual temperature reading, but I don't know if this thing's gonna do that. Because just stick it at 80, and I know it's colder than that. Okay, it's going down just very slowly. Just give it a while. I don't want to touch the fan with it because it's glass. Okay, we're down to 70. Coil's nice and cold, like even up to the top, so definitely working. And as you can hear, I mean, the compressor sounds just fine. Coil's hot back here. God, this thing is slow. Okay, it is at under 70 and it's going straight back up. Let me put it on the back here. So we're shooting straight up on the back here. 90. 100. $110. See 110 off the condenser coil. So it's definitely cooling, definitely putting heat out. Compressor sounds fine, not ridiculously overheating or anything. In fact, it feels cooler than it would if it was running R-134 or R-22. So yeah, we'll see how long this lasts. You can see that there is water. It's actually about to start overflowing. That it's collecting there because it's not draining properly because it's sitting sideways, sort of. So like I mentioned, this is only entertainment purposes. I'm not saying that this is how you fix your air conditioner. Definitely don't. But in this case, this unit was going to the scrapyard anyway, so you know, $7 for those two cans of R-152. So you know, if it lasts a year and then I have to put some more in, that's great. And I'll keep doing that until something fries or blows out. So, yeah. Well, I will update if it fails. Okay, so this has been running for about probably 45 minutes. It's still blowing ice cold well, about as ice cold as you'd expect a modern unit like this to run. Whole coil's still nice and cool, and it's running great. Compressor sounds fine. It's definitely putting out some condensation, so I'd say that it's good. Now, of course, it is 152A, which is more like 134A. In fact, I think you can use it directly in an R12 system. It's hot up here, and then about halfway down it starts getting less hot. And down here it's actually not hot at all. And the compressor doesn't run hot at all. I mean, the compressor runs even cooler than it does with R22. But yeah, it's definitely working just fine. Ice cold. So we'll see how long it lasts. Like I said, that 86 Kenmore is still running. In fact, the guy who I loaned it to, after I put the 134A in it, and that was about probably 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years, been used constantly, and you know, it's hot in that house. That air conditioner is cooling the whole house except for a little small carry cool in the bedroom. So, you know, I mean, it's a little tiny house, but it's still whole house, and it's keeping up. It kept up. It didn't sound bad, ran just fine, and did exactly what this did. The compressor ran cooler, and only half the coil really got hot, and the other half of it was cool. But it ran ice cold. It worked just fine, just like this one appears to be doing with the R-152A. And the compressor's still running in that unit just fine. We took it out because he finally got his central air fixed. But yeah, so we'll see how long this guy works. I expect that it's probably going to leak out, and I'll have to put some more in, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, R-152A is cheap. I got those 2 cans for $7. And one of the cans just got wasted because the gauges wouldn't work. I found out later that the little rubber O-ring that went in there had fallen out of the ground. So that was the problem. So really, one 10-ounce can, filled this thing up just fine. So yeah, it's working, putting out plenty of condensation. It sounds happy for now. So we'll see how long it is until it fries. And yeah.